Executive Director of Hope Generation Africa. He is also a parenting coach. He is a marriage counselor. He is the founder of Men of Purpose Mentorship Group. This person is actually many things, many things. He's also very, very passionate. When you need somebody to speak about positive parenting, you need somebody to speak about marriage and family or child counseling, please, you've got somebody. So this is the person who is coming to speak to us on this topic today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome me as we invite Mr. Dickson Tumuramye to come and speak to us. Let me see those digital hand claps, whatever it is. Let's show that we are very happy to receive him. Dickson, you're very welcome to take the floor. God bless.
Yes, thank you so much. Our moderator, Aunt Grace, I'm grateful to hear what you said. I was just here smiling at myself, but I thank God so much for everything. And I'm grateful to be here once again to be speaking to the ladies and, of course, the gentlemen who have joined the ladies. I am happy. I cannot take it for granted. Welcome, everybody. You are most welcome. Once again, my name is Dickson Tumuramye. Maybe I'm going to request the host allow me share my screen. But I want to take this opportunity to welcome all of you. Thank you so much for making it this evening. I'm just going to share my screen here. And I hope I'm very clear. If I'm not clear, please alert me so that I don't make a mistake of speaking to myself. I want to ensure that I'm speaking to everyone and everyone is listening to me. Yes, so this is me. My name is Dickson Tumuramye. I am married to one wonderful lady called Prim Tumuramye, Mchala Governor. People usually call me chairman, so she's Mchala chairman also. And together we have these wonderful men and women and women. But also we have an adopted daughter who is not here in this photo. She's at campus in her third year. She's finishing next semester. She's doing computer science. Dickson Tumuramye Jr. is in his senior 2 at Tambara High School. So second born David, who is also the president of the Tumuramye government, who is in P7. So please kindly pray for him. Then also our Prime Minister Deborah, who is also in P5 at Cornerstone. Both of them, David and Deborah at Cornerstone Junior School. Big people, or just now big people. But I love this photo because it has a lot of meaning to us as a family. So I won't say much about myself because they already mentioned more what I do, but I love more writing about parenting and marriage. And also I feel happy when I'm talking to people, counseling young people, counseling children or couples. That's where I find my joy. And I'm grateful for what God has done and what I always see people say when I send them articles that they are saying, I was dying or I had this issue and this accepted me, or when I meet someone say, I am back on my track with my family because of that day, I feel very grateful more than anything else. Yes, so today we are here together. But I'm also a member of the Honor Church of Uganda. And I lead the men's fellowship every Tuesday. We are always also here, and I'm always grateful when I see ladies joining us. By the way, what is very surprising that we always have almost more ladies attending our fellowship, competing with men when actually it's men's fellowship. And I've also observed that when it comes to that women connect, sometimes men are not so many like their side when we have so many ladies. So for ladies, I want to salute you. Thanks so much for having us. Thanks so much for always joining us. And when I also see men today here joining us, I'm grateful and I'm happy for you, men. Thank you so much for coming. And let's share together today. Let's learn together. And let's make it interactive. I want to hear what people will be saying, how you feel about quality time over quantity time. Together we can learn something. So we are looking at quality over quantity in relationships. And of course, relationships cut across. We are not only looking at maybe for us who are married, not only looking at our marriage, we're looking at also our families. Each one of us here, I know you have a family, you have a friend, you have a colleague, you have some of you could be already the BUs and SUs, some of you could be relating. And so today, all of us, this topic cuts across, we're going to be learning together how best can I know what I should give. Is it about quality time or is it about quantity time in relationship? So me and you, tonight we're going to discover the answer, and I pray together God will give us the grace to be here until the end. So let's pray together as we start. Father, thank you so much for this very wonderful opportunity that you've given me. I'm not special, Father, King of Kings, but I trust that by your grace and mercy, King of Kings, you're going to use me to speak to your people, and together we are going to learn together. I pray for good network. I pray that power will not go off. I pray that everything will be very clear. That's as a speaker, my master, pray to use me as your vessel. You make my voice clear, that I will not be speaking my own words. Father, I will be speaking the word that you put upon my heart to deliver to people, King of Kings. So use me as your child, use me as your servant, King of Kings, to deliver that message to people, my master, King of Kings. Maybe your speaker, maybe your microphone, maybe your everything, King of Kings, to ensure that your message is well delivered and it's clear and will bless someone this evening, King of Kings. Thank you so much for the leadership. Thank you so much, Father, for ministry I'm doing this night with Auntie Grace of God. I pray together you use us mightily. Thank you so much, Father, for preparing questions, my master, along the way. Thank you for the environment. I pray, Father, that this evening all of us will be very much blessed and we will not take it for granted, for we know that it's not by power, it's not by might, but by your spirit, says the Lord. Thank you. And in Jesus' name we have prayed and believed. Amen. Amen. So once again, you're most welcome, and let's learn together. And so I will start by talking about yes, what quality time is all about. Of course, we're talking about quality time and quantity time in our relationships. So I will begin with quality time. Quality time is one of the love languages that was championed by Chapman. Most of us have heard about him, the man that is behind the five love languages. So quality time is one of them. And so it's the meaning of it is about dedicating your full attention and time the person you love. I don't know which person you love in this context. It could be your parent, it could be your sibling, it could be your spouse. It's also about our children. For us who are married and have children. So depending on the person that you love, that person, it's all about giving that person that time that is not divided. So it's intentional, it's meaningful, then you get more committed to that person, and you ensure there's no divided attention or distraction. So you focus all your time to that person. So you give all to that person. So you're mindful of spending that time together in order to show your appreciation and affection for one another, that person that you love. So you're mindful that what I'm giving this person is so of appreciating that person, is so feeling, being that affection between the two of you. And you feel that, yes, this is what time spending together. And so it involves eliminating all distractions around you. And actually, I want to bring that example of Martha, Mary, and Jesus. I know what it says in Luke chapter 10, from verse 38 to 42. When he just visited these two sisters, come and check on them, of course, even with check on their brother. Also, you know, they had their brother, sorry, called Lazarus. And we know at the moment the Bible talks about Martha running to the kitchen to make sure that everything's on the plate, everything's okay, just it's well entertained, and she was comfortable, But then Mary chose to remain at the feet of Jesus. And then the other one came complaining, but why, how come she doesn't care to I'm doing this alone? Can't she come and help me? And just said, my dear, if you could know what this one has chosen. So for her, she chose to give Jesus that quality time, that time which Jesus maybe wanted, because I don't think he just came to eat, he only came to have time with him. Imagine when you go to visit a family and everyone is not there and you're left alone. So what time do you give a person? If someone comes to visit you as your friend, or if you go to visit someone and someone does not give you time, how do you feel? How about you? What is always distracting you from your friend that you're not giving that time, ample time? Because ample time in this case is we're not talking about the ample time in terms of quantity, but ample time that is not destructive and is only focused on that person. That's what you're talking about. And also the Bible talks about Adam and his wife Eve, Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. The two shall become one. When the two of you are together, especially in our marriage context, when the two of you are into one another, you end up, especially when you're always focused on one another, you protect one another, at the end of the day, you get so much connected that you become one. It's also about connection, communication, and presence, where it's what is more prioritized than anything else. You leave other things and you prioritize connection. And that connection, you also make sure there's communication, clear, constant, effective communication now and then. And then your presence is more felt because you're there, and you're there. And when you're talking about presence, you're not talking about being only nearer. No, you're talking about being truly present. You're there and someone can say, yes, I am with this person here. He is. And of course, we know that you can be present physically, but absent emotionally. Or you can even be in the house present physically, but spiritually, you're not felt. You don't even, they even force you to go to church. So your presence matters a lot, and especially when it's real, when it's felt, and when it's prioritized. So the Bible talks about how we use our time together and says, look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is. Friends, you know that evil times, the evil time is there. And the Bible is challenging us that we should walk as wise people, not as fools, understanding how we use our time in our best way. So for you, when and how do you use your time? Do you use it for evil things, or use it to build the kingdom of God, which exactly begins from your family, especially among us who have families, or which that time exactly should be in the best interest, not only for God, but especially for the people that you love, those who matter to you, those who are close to you. So how much do you give them that time, and how much are you making sure that you're not like the foolish, the foolish people who are not using their time respectfully? So now again, we come to quantity time. What is it about? What does it mean? It's about spending a lot of time with someone, regardless of what is done during that time. Here we are looking at how much you spend with that person. Too much time in terms of duration, in terms of how many hours you're spending with that person, and also being that together, regardless of what you're doing. But we are looking at, are we together? Are we spending that time together? So the number of hours you spend with that time matters, and that determines the quantity time. So it's more of the physical, our presence, being together, whether you're doing something or not, just being there in that same space at that particular moment. That's how we can measure the time that someone has spent with you, and say quantity time. But does quantity time mean quality time? And which one would you prefer? If it were, do you prefer quality or you prefer quantity? Together, you will judge for yourself what you would prefer at the end of the day. And so, as we continue, I want you to think through, you as an individual, as a person who have someone that you love, someone that you cherish. How do you measure that you're giving quality time? How do you measure that you're giving quantity time? And to you, what matters most? Again, think about it, and then you'll be able to, at the end of the day, to tell what you should be able to offer. There's a research which was done, and this was a survey, and in that survey, it was given 2,600 people to talk about the 5 love languages, what for them they would prefer, and 11.8% says that for them they prefer acts of service. 12.6 say for them they prefer receiving gifts. 15.4 for them their love language was about touch, physical touch. And then 18.5 for them they preferred words of affirmation. I want to go into the sense of each and everything, because you're not talking about the love languages, but I just want you to know what we all know among the 5 love languages, which place is the quality time. And so for quality time, most of them preferred and said they preferred it because it's good for them. So that was 41.6%. By the way, as we're talking about quality time, in this context, we're not talking about the love language. So I don't want to be misquoted, but I just wanted to bring you this, what it means in terms of relationships as we move on together. What most people prefer, they prefer quality time more than even other things. So to you, you can know, I know that most of us, each one of us here has where you belong when it comes to love languages. But at the end of the day, still quality time carries more weight than any other love language. I like Ruth, chapter 1, verse 16 up to 17. As the story of Ruth, how she lost her husband, and even her sister-in-law also lost her husband. And then they had their mother-in-law, and she gave them a choice of leaving, and each one of them go to their place and stay with their people. But here we see one of them called Ruth. She said, for me, where you go, I will go. Where you live, I will live. Where you stay, I will stay. Where you die, I will die. The people will be my people. I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. Even when she now convinced Ruth, she said, for me, where you go, I will go. Where you live, I will live. Where you die, I will die. No, I will follow you. So I like that song, by the way, for it's romantic. I know some of us we think that when we should not supposed to be romantic because we are Christians, but we should also be romantic, and especially in a Christian way. So you can always sing that song for your person that you love. Yeah. So it's good also to be romantic and show affection to our people that we love so much. So that was what Ruth chose, and she lived well with her mother-in-law. And at the end of that day, we see a good thing happening to Ruth, because finally Ruth got a very wonderful husband that cared for her. And from that, now we see a lineage of Jesus Christ coming from there. So maybe had Ruth not given much time and attention and care and not decided to live with her mother-in-law, possibly me and you wouldn't be knowing much about Christ. Yeah, so your time that you give to your people can bring deliverance, can bring some resurrection, or can benefit you more than you can imagine, because we see now the person that benefited more was Ruth, more than even how Naomi benefited. Spending time together is what we are talking about together here. Also, I want us to put more emphasis on how we can spend time together. I want that quantity does not equal to connection. That intimate connection. No, you can be around someone all day and still be emotionally distant. Emotionally, if you are distant, you're not connected at all with that very person. So, and of course, you know this, you can even be with someone, maybe your roommates, but you don't have any connection. Someone comes in the morning, or meaning goes out in the morning and comes back in the evening, and there's no big relationship, or you don't even have time to talk. Or you can even be by the roommates. I mean, you can be couples, but you're like roommates. You don't talk, you don't have any connection. You actually sleep in the same bed, but there's no communication, there's no talking, there's no time for each other. This one comes in busy, and the only thing you're just going to the bed to sleep. You're in the same house, maybe also in an empty nest. Like for me and Prim, when children at school, almost we are two of us in the house. And then you're there and you're completely disconnected. You don't even have any relationship with each other. That's also another challenge that you can have. So when you're together with someone, are you emotionally connected? Or you're there physically, but in between you, there's no even conversation, no conversation at all, but you're just there looking at each other. Maybe something is distracting. We shall get to know as we move ahead. Quite a time is about emotional presence, not just about your physical presence. As I already mentioned, that you can be physically present, but emotionally or even spiritually, you don't have any kind of connection. You can also be in your house with your spouse again and with your children, but you're not there with them emotionally, because you glued something, maybe like TV or phone, or you're busy doing other things, but they don't feel you that you are together. And then before you know it, when things hit you hard, you want them to come to you, but then actually people have moved on. And especially as we get growing, I've seen all the people who never had time invested in their children. Now they want attachment, but their children are not there for them. They're either glued to their mother or their father, depending on who was so much close to them, but mostly to their mother, because the mother was always there. The mother always checked on them. He knew how they slept. Or even you're there and you do not have anything to do with your mother or your father, or you can't even call your father to say, how are you feeling? How was your day? You only call once in a while, just for the sake of calling, but emotionally, you feel like, but even if we call, we can't talk much. Or you're there, you can't even talk to someone more than like even a day. Like you have the person you love, especially in terms of marriage. You can imagine in 24 hours, you may not even have 30 minutes of communication. Even 10 minutes, you can't even have a conversation for 10 minutes. If you put together all the time that you have talked together, can't even measure up to 10 minutes. So is that what you want? Think about it. I want that instead of having 4 hours of being there together, but when actually you're not connected, 30 minutes are better off. When they're not interrupted, they are focused and they're intimate, and they are for the two of you. We also what we said, quantity time and quality time, both of them are important and they must be valued and created. For you to have a quality time, you must create it. I want you to look at Nicodemus. When Nicodemus wanted to find Jesus, he had to look for him, he had to create that time for him, and then he had to come to him, and they had to talk. He had to look for him, and at the end of the day, you know what happened when you read about Nicodemus, how Jesus told him that for you to be in the kingdom of God, there's no option but to be born again. So if Nicodemus had not come, maybe you wouldn't have had those good words, and you wouldn't have maybe known Christ as the Lord and Savior. We also would remember the Samaritan woman, the time she had with Jesus at the well, how the two of you interacted and had a good time of talking together. And then the woman had asked many questions about Abraham, that kind of conversation. And then at the end of the day, we see she's going back to the town and she's going to tell the whole town that, my dear, I've met a man who is a prophet and he has told me all about myself, all about me. I mean, so Christ gave her quality time, ample time, but also quality time as they were sharing together, and she was able to understand who Jesus was, what it meant, what the scriptures meant in the previous, the old tradition she believed in, and what now it means for her to believe in in the Savior, in the prophet she met as a new person in her perspective. So this is very intentional. The person that you meet, you must be intentional with that person. So it is that intentional personal presence with the purpose, with the person that that you love. So I said, please, as we go through this, as we look at quantity against quality, keep the fire burning in a way that you make sure nothing fades away, especially that love that you have for each other, which again, the Bible talks about in 1 Peter 4:8, that all things can happen, things can be there and there, but at the end of the day, love covers all those bad things that you always think about, a multitude of sins. That's what the Bible says, love covers a multitude of sins. So when you have that quality time, actually it brings that love which can never fade away. How quality time impacts our relationships? One, it promotes genuine understanding. You get to understand this person because you are taking too much time with this person. You're always together, you spend time together. At the end of the day, before you know it, you understand someone deeply more than if you're a bit apart. So emotionally, you understand this person. Physically, you get to know this person. Spiritually, you get to know that this person loves this and doesn't love the other. Like you get to know even their preferences, their likes and dislikes, more than this person who is a distant. It establishes trust and reliability because you're always reliable, you trust each other, you know that you always each other there for each other. If you speak and say that you're going to have this time together, then it happens because you are into each other emotionally, spiritually, physically, and even economically. Like you are one, you're not distant. It turns everyday moments into treasures. You always value that time, whether short or long. That time, whether it's 2 minutes together on phone or whichever way, whether you're mixed together, like you're seated together and you're talking, it leaves you with a lot of treasure. Like you keep treasuring every moment, and you also keep looking forward that time of saying, I wish we can be together. So please think about it. How much time do you give the person? And do you treasure that time? And if someone also gives you that time, you treasure it. Are you always together? Think about it. Also boost the human communication, the honest communication, because you are communicating, you're always having conversation. And of course, if you're always having that time together, which is very intentional, you also go deep. You share secrets, you share intimately, you go deep more than the person that is always far away from you, because you cannot trust that that person maybe he's caring about you. But this one who is always near you and you always share intimately, you find that at least the two of you have an intimate relationship, and so you can easily trust that person and go vulnerable and share. Makes your partner feel special, especially if you're in marriage. She feels he or she feels treated very well and valued and special, and that makes a relationship in marriage stronger and stronger every day. So how do you make this a reality? How do you make sure that we are staying this together, and how does that benefit you? Still, I'm trying to say that this time that you have together, that relationship promotes bonding if you give quality and quantity together. But especially quality, it bonds you together. It helps you to grow together in love. That time you invest is more, it's the time we invest in each other is more than the time we spend together when we are apart. So time invested in someone is more than the amount of time that you spend together when you're not emotionally connected together. Or if it's not about quality, but it's about quantity. Sometimes the investment in terms of connecting with each other can be more than the amount of time when you spend together, but actually we're not together. So you need to make sure that you have time that you're investing in this person, and that time also it's better you also value the amount of it. Is it too much time? Is it a little time? But how much are you investing at the end of the day? And what the time that you're investing is quality and quantity. So think about it. Both sometimes they all need to go hand in hand. But what matters is that it must be more of quality than of quantity. Commitment to your relationship is very important as you spend this time together. Too much time, which is of quality, brings commitment to both of you to love each other deeply and more and more. It feels, I don't know, I'm going to jump it. What makes quality time a reality? One, closeness. How you come close to each other, what you share together as friends, as people who are together, makes a big difference. Personal sharing, open sharing, where you share with someone and say, this is me, this is all about us. And you share openly without feeling without feeling any shame, without feeling obliged and what. Also brings mutual understanding. It also promotes love and care. I already talked about 1 Peter 4:8, where love covers a multitude of sins, even in the midst of strife. Even Proverbs 10:12 talks about the same thing. Even where there's strife between you and hatred, still love binds you together and brings unity, brings union, makes you love each other deeply, and even takes away many other things. When you look at 1 Corinthians chapter 13 from verse 4 to 8, it talks about what love does. It gives good qualities of love, how love should be, what you should not do when you're in love. So again, it's good for you to read and understand that where there's quality time, and of course that intimate time that you always share together, it helps you to forget about many things that can cause more confusion between the two of you. So it doesn't keep wrong things, the record of wrong things. Forget many bad things about the person and only focus on the best things that both of you can bring out together, and you live together intimately for the sake of your relationship. Feelings of vulnerability, I want to also remind you about Abraham and his wife Eve. Both of them were naked, but they were never ashamed of being together, everything, because they were always together. They had quality time and they also had quantity time. Of course, we not at some point, I feel like why the devil took advantage of Eve, maybe somehow Adam did not do his part very well, and he created a gap. There was a loop which the devil came and he tested and said, hey, so now the devil got an opportunity of engaging engaging Eve in the absence of Adam. Maybe if they're always too much connected with each other, possibly the devil would have no chance. So when we don't give quality time and ample time that someone would need, at some point, then we create a loop which the devil can utilize. But that's more important for them, because they were always together. They were not ashamed of having stayed together and lived together. There are barriers to quality time. Emotional disconnection. If the two of you are not connected at all, then that means that you can never have quality time. You can be that together, that you can even be together in that room, but no one is talking to the other because you don't take it serious, you don't value it, so you are there and you're not paying attention to one another. So just know that you need to be connected all the time. Business without balance, you're always busy, you think you're more busy than anybody else, and you know you don't want to spend time with this person. I want to assure you that if you're busy and you don't want to balance between quality and quantity, and you feel like for you, you have to chase whatever you're chasing, before you know it, if it's with your children, they will forget about you. If it's your spouse, there will be a gap in between, and you don't know who can fill that gap at some point. Even for your children, if you don't give them time, they will get connected to gadgets, and before you know it, you don't know what they are learning on gadgets. You know, now we know that the challenge of internet these days, because there's too much information and exposure to unfiltered information, and somehow our children have been taken off without even their knowledge. So again, selfishness is one of the things that can kill quality time, affect our quality time together. So we need to make sure that you're not selfish. Don't be the one who does that to be you want to be always treated very well. You want to be given too much time, but which you're not giving to that person. So quality time and quantity time, both of them need agreement, need to be one. But when there's selfishness, for you want more, yet you don't want the other person. Before you don't want to give back, or you want that ample time, quality time where there's no distraction, and you want to be with that person. But again, for you don't want to offer, that can also create a challenge. Distractions, I talked about them. What is distracting? What's stopping you from having that quality time with your person? Is it your job? Is it your phone? Is it your ex? Is it your children that you're not giving time to your spouse? Is it your spouse that is hindering you from having quality time because he's not caring about you? Think about it. What is distracting from creating the quality time with the person, but also the ample time? But we are focusing more on quality time tonight. What's stopping you? So think about it. You need things that can bond you together, not distract you and take you away from your person. Again, misaligned priorities can create a problem when your priorities to the two of you with a person that you love, or when you have your misaligned priorities with your children. Before you know it, you find that you're not giving them time, and they're not giving you time because all of you're scoring in different goals. You have different priorities, you have different goals, you have different objectives, so you cannot connect, you cannot come closer. Before you know it, there's the gap between the two of you, or the family members, and keeps widening. And that, if you're not intentional in coming back together and resolve that, then none of you is together. That's why you find some families, especially where people are not born again. One child is drinking, comes at the time they want, another one is doing that, another one is doing the other. All of you are disconnected, and there's some confusion in a home. And you can even easily tell that, by the way, in this family there's a problem. Spending a lot of time away from your home, especially for us who have families, if you're a parent, but also you as a child, you're never at home, your parents don't know where you are. Even when you're a BU and SU even when you have grown at this level, you have your own house or what, still no one knows about you. And before you know it, you have created a gap, and so that can also create a problem with promoting quality time that can bond you together, that can bring you closer. Taking your partner or your children for granted, please, that can also be a problem. Someone tells you, I want you, I want quality time, I want to be with you. My dad, they want to be with you. My mom want to be with you. And then you take it for granted. You think, this is not important. Maybe you say, I will keep promising, I will come, I will give you time, I will give you time. And before you know it, someone says, I think this person doesn't understand what I want. They need this person to enjoy their way, and they will take their own way. You don't paying attention also. If you are not paying attention to what someone is telling you, you're not listening, you're not attentive, whatever is happening around you, for you take life to be like this fair kind of person, and you don't want to listen even when someone tells you. Before you know it, if you're not paying clear attention to understand what's happening, you're not even reading the seasons. Like the Bible said, that the children of the sons of Isaac read and understood the seasons. You'll be left out, and that will affect you. So how do we ensure to promote quality time and we spend together this time, either as couples or as families? Again, as I just said, put couple, but I'm going to be making it open because it was also open. But I want to concentrate so much on couples because that's where the problem is. So when you see me dwelling so much on couples, please, the BUs and SUs, please understand. But after all, you're so soon you'll be there, and so this is a way of helping you to learn. So by the time you get there, you're not having a problem. So living and cleaving. Some of us, we leave our parents But we don't we don't I mean we don't cleave to our spouses. Yes, you left your spouse, you left your parents, you're staying now with your spouse, but whatever happens, you report home. Mommy, he did this. Daddy, but my husband is like this. But my wife, I don't understand. Everything is about you and your family more than your spouse. Also, you don't cleave with your children. Also, in that context, you don't cleave with your children. But that's for marriage. When you look at what Ruth did to live with her mother-in-law and the benefit she got at the end of the day, getting Boaz. For you, are you living with your spouse? Are the two of you one? So think about it. Have that alone time, our moment, our time moment, our one-on-one. There's that rule of 70 over 30%. Staying together, being together for use the 70% being together, and then the 30% you can use it for other things. And actually set, you can even work on your habits, on your bad habits and other things which you feel like you have a weakness and you need some improvement. So you can use the 30% to work on yourself, but the 70% of your time should be between you, especially as a couple. Listening skills, understand and listen, carefully listen, pay attention to what the other person is saying, and must here also use eye contact as you give attention to the other person. That can help you also to be together. Pray together, plan your family activities together, helps you together. Silence electronics in your house, including even the phones and those gadgets that you always want to watch. So be together, understand your spouse's love language, especially in this context. If your love language is quality time, then give it to your spouse. But also our children also have this love language and they prefer it. Please understand it. If it's their love language, kindly offer it to their children, offer it to your spouse, also your friend, and make sure that you meet them at their needs. How to spend that time again together, have one-on-one. I was about to explain that. Share fun all the time together. Share physically. Love is patient, and can already mention that. So make sure you are together, you learn one another. Do not be resentful to your spouse. Do not be resentful to your loved one. Do not be resentful to your parents, and to your children. You can have a book which you can be reading together, so spend time together with the loved one. But remember, if you're single and you're spending that time with the other person, the other opposite sex, things can happen. So be careful. Create boundaries together. You can take exercises together if you're a couple, and also with your children, and enjoy life together. Watch a movie with your family, have social gatherings together as a family, or even as the same people. If you're a couple, you can also promote sexual relationships together. I mean, you make sure that, yes, you enjoy life together because you got a guarantee, you got a certificate at the time of your wedding, you've got a certificate to go and enjoy life together with your spouse. Sharing feelings and thought together also gives you a moment. Have those shared experiences together. When you come back from work, especially work, and you reach home and find that your spouse has reached there, share. When your children have come back from school, share with them what your day was. Let them also share with you how their day was. That bonds you, that brings you together, and emotionally become one. Do joint activities together, ventures, supervise them together. Go and visit your farms together. Have that time together, and before you know it, you enjoy. Have outings, retreats, whatever can make you as a family have a good time. I will stop here because of time. For those who are married, I want to emphasize this. The secret to making a marriage to work. The secret to making a marriage is to work at your marriage. Marriage is hard work, and too many people are not willing to invest time in it. And when we invest too much time in our marriage, and our marriage is very good, it triples to our family, and it triples to our family. The people that enjoy mostly are our children. So let us work for us. Let us work on our marriage. Let us work on our relationships with our marriage, and that will also help our children to appreciate and also cleave together. Because when the two of us are together, it's easier to bring our children together and we all become one. But when our marriage is apart, things cannot work out. For those who are still relating, I want to say also work on relationship with the other person that you love. If it's your parents and you don't feel like you're working, there's something that you bring together, still work on it. Work on relationship with your parents. Look for ways of how we can promote that love, that quality time. Call them. Even if you are at a distance, give them time and talk to them when you're not divided. You don't need to watch the TV when you're just there and that's even if you're doing that day, create some small time and talk to your parents, talk to your loved ones, make it a point. If you have children who are in boarding, create time and go and visit them. Don't wait for the visiting day, even when you can create another time and go and visit them once in a while and share with them, listen from them, and before you know it, you will make a big difference in their lives. Together, I want that we can make life better, if we pay attention, these small details, but which are very important, create time, be there. Quantity time matters, but what matters more is how much is it of quality. And in that quality time, what are you doing with that person you have? Who is your best? And what's the intention? So be purposeful and make sure to at the end of the day you achieve the best of it. And before you know it, you're born together and you enjoy your relationship. God bless you.
Wow, 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 wow. Hand clap to Uncle Dickson. Oh, this has been deep. Thank you so much. We are really very grateful. Friends, I hope each of us has benefited in one way or the other. Thank you for those hand claps. Thank you for those appreciation messages to Governor. Friends, this has been beautiful. We are very grateful. Uh, uh, I know that he hurried through, but he has really ably given us what he could within the short time, and what he has given us is really not little. It's a lot for us to learn from. So many things that he has talked about, helping us to understand quantity versus quality time, but also helping us to know how quality time impacts on our relationships. He has talked about benefits of quality time in a relationship, what makes quality time a reality. He has talked about the barriers. He has talked about how to spend quality time. So many things that he has mentioned here. Friends, just in case anyone has a question or two, this would be the right time for us to share. We still have a few minutes left. I'm sure we could profitably use those minutes to answer some questions here. There is something that you talked about, but I think you somehow cleared it. You actually cleared it. When you talked about barriers to quality time, one of them was being busy without balancing. You're so busy that you fail to balance your work or yourself. And then there was another one, another barrier that you mentioned, a barrier to quality time as spending time away from home. And in my mind, I quickly thought about many of us, especially those of us who have families, who fail to be together. I currently know of a young couple that whose work schedules have failed them to be together. One works in the night, another one works during days. So one is coming in, the other one is going out, and you know you're rushing because of jam, so you have to leave a little bit early. Then the other one is trying to come back, you know, but because of the jam, they find when the other one has left. So I was wondering how do these people, you know, try to solve this problem as a barrier to quality time. But I think you have ably mentioned it. There are different ways. You talked about calling and being very intentional with that calling and so on. So thank you so much for helping us. There is a question that I saw earlier on. There's somebody here who is saying, Paul is saying that these are people, they are both doing the same job and profession, but the wife has more time for children than the husband. Husband is always tired. How does this happen? There is that thought in the chat. Somebody is wondering, how does this happen? I don't know whether you have something to talk about that, Uncle Dickson, as we wait for other questions to come up. But otherwise, here I'm seeing, thank you so much, Papa, for the great sharing. It's been so special. People are already doing a checkup. That is how powerful this session has been. They are ticking off boxes and seeing where they are doing well and where they need to improve. Yeah, thank you so much. So if you could just speak into that, somebody is wondering about how that happens. Both of us have the same job. We all do the same things, but one appears to be more tired than the other. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Paul. Of course, I don't know, even at workplace, it could be the same job, but maybe the responsibilities are different, or one does more than the other. Maybe the husband works more hard than the wife. Maybe he runs a lot of errands, or he runs a lot here and there. Maybe it could be the manager. I don't know who's the boss of the other. Or if it's the same job, maybe I don't know who does much. But I think at the end of the day, since they're doing that same job, the husband, much as we have talked about balancing, much as both of you could be busy, but I think he needs to revise his ways and know that he needs to create ample time for his wife, ample time for his children, ample time for his family. Because at the end of that day, time will come when he will not be in that job, when he will no longer be working at that place, and he'll be retired, and he will need company. He will need someone to call and talk to deeply. And the only person that can talk and talk and talk deeply and intimately and share more would be the first would be his family, his wife, and then his children. So if he does not invest in his family now, he's only investing for his family. He's preparing the future for his family, but he's not preparing that the children. He's not preparing his family. He's not investing in his family, in his wife and the children. Time will come when he will reap. And the way he will reap, but people have isolated him, they would have moved on because they don't have any connection, any emotional connection. And before he knows it, he'll be lonely and he'll be like, what did I do? And I think that's why men who retire die more than women. If I don't know, but that's what I think. I've had many posts that for most men die earlier than women. Of course, I think we also have more widows than widowers, because men, I think we die a lot. We die. So I don't know, but I think that could be one of the reasons why loneliness kills us more than it kills women. So can we invest in our children? Can we invest in our families? As invest for them, also invest in them. And investing in them means that you need to give them that emotional connection, that quite a time that is not distracted. Either you take them out if you're a busy person. In short, when you're not tired, take them out, have one-on-one. We always have one-on-one with our children, either Prima alone with children, me alone with children, or all of us together with children. And those sometimes we don't even have to go to expensive places. We look for where we can be. Or we always, when we're going out for something, either one is going to the hospital or what, we always make sure that all of us go as a family. And that helps us to bond, helps us to talk. We always make jokes, always make them sing. They are they must bless the band, they always sing here. And so we always improve them in different things, and that has helped us to understand them. They also understand us. We give them opportunity to evaluate us when we have a function at home. We give them an opportunity to be in charge, and then they make comments about us. We also make comments about them. Now we know our strengths, we know our weaknesses. Together as a family, we know what our children like and what they don't like. We know many things because we have chosen to create time and be together as a family. Because at the end of the day, if things outside there would not work out for our good, at least back home, I'll be well received. Things will work out for me well at home. So when I go back home and I'm stressed, I always not at home. When I reach home, that stress which I've gotten from outside the environment, the external environment, back home internally, I'll be well received. There's fun, there's joy, there's togetherness, and that has given us life. So aim at life, and that can come only when the two of you as a family, I mean, like in terms of family, are together, and your children will love you and always take that stress, that tiredness that you come with at home away from you. And of course, you're also helping the children. Yet be a role model that whatever you give is what you will receive, but remember also you're training your children to be that which you want them to be tomorrow. So if you don't give them time now, you also want to give them either to their children or their spouses, but mostly you will be affected.
Thank you so much, Uncle Dickson, for that response. Yes, you talked about something to do with social media, the interruptions and everything, even the negative effects that come along. I want you to give us some guidance, because this thing has come and it has come to stay. We tried to help our children to know that they are not supposed to get phones until they are 18, those things, and what somehow we succeeded. But now you realize somebody is on their phone, and even the younger ones, they are also on TV, they are watching this and the other. And if you're not very careful, all of you are actually taken up. Even parents also can be, can also fall prey to that. So is there a way you can help us to know how to use this social media to help us use it profitably as far as spending quality and quantity time together is concerned, so that even when we know we have those gadgets and we need to connect to the whole world, people want to see how many status viewers, how many followers, how many what practical steps can you help us to know how to harness social media for our good for our good as far as quality and quantity time in relationships is concerned.
Thank you so much, Aunt Grace. And I think I will start with again what we are modeling as parents. Are we modeling good behavior for our children? Because for your children are like monkeys, they see and do. So what kind of models are we, what kind of modeling are we giving to our children? Are we good examples? So it starts with us to walk the talk. If you feel you should not give your child a phone until the child is 18, or whichever age that you decided with your child, for you, are you addicted to your phone? Are you always on your phone? And if you don't want them to have phones at that moment, what alternative are you giving them? Make sure that can occupy them as you'd want them not to be distracted by the other side of the phones or the gadgets. So create a replacement, an alternative that can also still, at the end of the day, target creating a bond between both of you as a family. So think about it. Again, avoiding distractions. Maybe for you, think that if you give your child a phone, the child will be distracted, the child will be this and that and that. But when they're at home and for you, you're on phone, you're on TV, how do you feel? So still, as a family, look at how all of you together as a family, you can avoid distractions and create that moment which can bring you together. Pray together, put shows at home, put music and dance together. But it's also good for us. We always dance with our children. Of course, they also say now it's daddy to dance. Like we always have fun. We have fun in our house most of the time. So it doesn't matter whatever is happening, whatever season. Deborah is a good MC. She likes emceeing and organizing different uh, uh, shows now and then. We do different things, and I've seen that it has broken the barriers between us and our children. We understand them the way now they can even come and tell us what is in their hearts, how they are feeling, their emotions. Deborah recently she was telling me what is happening back at her school. Maybe people are also like saying other things which are not good. She comes and said that this someone was saying this girl was doing this. And for me, how can I go about it? And I'm grateful at her age now. She's in P5, she's 10. She can come and share with me. So I'm sure if I keep giving good information, before I know it, she'll become my friend and she'll always open up to me. So think about it. Also prioritize your family and avoid distraction. But for me, I would say for the phones, all of us have reasons why you don't want to give our children phones. And at what age you feel maybe it's good for them. You also know your children better than I know them. But I think we need also to evaluate what's the reason why you're not giving your child a phone. Is it about distraction? And are you sure if you don't give your child the phone, someone else is not providing the phone, and maybe they're hiding it? Because you might find someone I know I have heard of some people who have phones that their parents do not even know. They don't even know that they have these phones because even they use different numbers. When they are calling them, they use numbers which they know. But for them with their phones, they're on social media, they are like there. So know that our children are now more wiser than ever before. So you'd rather make sure that you give it to them at a certain age, maybe, and you restrict them on how they are going to be using it. Like for us, Dickson is in Bara High School, so we gave him a phone, a small phone. When he's coming, when he's going and coming, most of the time it takes him. We give, like he's independent, he even gets on a bus. We always tell him that make sure that your phone is on because that's how we communicate with him as going and he's coming. So it doesn't matter. It's all about what's the purpose. The purpose matters of why you're not giving a phone or you're giving the phone. But at the end of the day, prioritize your family, prioritize your children, make sure you all one.
Thank you, thank you. May the Lord help us. Somebody here has said, surely, may the Lord help us. Yeah, please, Dickson, know that some people are going to relocate to your home because they also want to have fun. Somebody has said we need to be good role models. I don't see any other question in the chat, and that is an assumption that surely everything has been talked about so well. And yes, even our time also is demanding that we have to end here. But we are very, very grateful, Mr. Governor, for that powerful talk to us. And I would like to thank everyone who has been able to log in today. It has been beautiful.